Alright guys, so welcome to the video. So in this video, we're going to talk about the differences between the Bambu Lab P1S and the Bambu Lab P2S. For those who are thinking of buying another Bambu Lab 3D printer, or if you guys are new to 3D printing, you guys are trying to figure out which one you guys want to go for, either the Bambu Lab P1S or the Bambu Lab P2S, this video is going to be especially for you. Now, I recently just bought another Bambu Lab 3D printer, and it is sitting right over there. Actually, there it is, still in the box and everything, and it actually just arrived yesterday. I bought another Bambu Lab 3D printer. Now, which one did I get? Did I get the P1S or the P2S? Now, first, before I let you guys know which one I did go for, is let's go with the differences between the P1S and the P2S. For the user interface controls, the P1S uses a basic monochrome LCD with physical buttons. With the P2S, it replaces that with a 5-inch full-color touchscreen and a newer, more polished interface like the H series models. So this pretty much makes the printer easier and more intuitive. Alright, so for the LCD screen on the P1S, it really doesn't bother me. I mean, I think it's really easy to navigate through. I mean, this interface is actually really straightforward. Granted, there's nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Now, unlike on the Anycubic Cobra S1, you do get a bigger screen, and it is actually touchscreen. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very nice, but I will cover this in a different video. But I've been finding myself using my Bambu Lab P1S a lot more versus the Anycubic Cobra S1. So for the camera with the P1S and the P2S, P1S includes a basic camera that only supports 720p for remote monitoring, while the P2S gets a higher quality of a 1080p camera with better live view and time-lapse footage. Also works with advanced error and detection. So I think that is a way better upgrade than the 720p. To be honest, I'm pretty happy still with the 720p. I mean, especially if the time-lapse videos are like really short anyways. So it's really not a huge thing for me. All right, so now we're moving on to the AI smart features. All right, so the P1S doesn't include advanced AI reliability features, which I'm pretty okay with because my other printers as well, like, I mean, the Anycubic Cobra 2 Max in general does not have any AI features whatsoever. Even the Creality CR10S and the Ender 3 Pros. And I've been completely fine without the AI features, to be honest. So that doesn't really bother me any. The P2S adds AI-powered failure detection, like detecting spaghetti prints, blobs, and air printing, and plus smarter UI error reporting. And for the extruder and hot end, the P1S standard direct drive extruder and all metal hot end capable up to 300 degrees Celsius, while the P2S uses an upgraded servo extruder with significantly higher force and responsiveness, plus a quick swap hot end system, toolless nozzle change, which actually improves the extruder reliability and ease of maintenance. So this is kind of a better upgrade, especially if you need to do maintenance on your 3D printers. I mean, we all need to do maintenance at some certain point with our 3D printers. So this is actually a good plus for the P2S. And for the temperature management and airflow, P1S enclosed chamber but without active airflow control. Now with the P2S, adds adaptive airflow like H series to help stabilize internal temperatures. Still not a fully heated chamber, but improved thermal consistency. So, I mean, this one, it's really not going to bother me as well because, I mean, they're both still enclosed, but without active airflow. And that goes the same for the P1S and the P2S. The only thing is, it just improved thermal consistency. So, I mean, this is not going to be a huge break for me. All right, so the build volume and motion. So both the P1S and the P2S both share the same 256 millimeter by 256 millimeter by 256 millimeter build volume, and Core XY motion system, so printable size and theoretical motion performance are very similar. So I mean, this is probably where I draw the line at. Like if the P2S build volume was a lot bigger than the P1S, then that's probably where I would draw the line and maybe upgrade to the P2S. So that is another thing to consider, is that the build volume is pretty much the same exact thing on the P1S and the P2S, which I think is, I don't know, it's kind of a bummer. I wish that the P2S, the build volume was a little bit bigger. That way we can really put a difference, like really put a gap between the P1S and the P2S. But yeah, I mean, the P2S slightly improved motion tuning and can reach around 600 millimeters per second peak speeds with enhanced filament flow control, although real-world gains depend on parts, geometry, and settings. So I mean, the speed and performance is not gonna affect me by all means. But yeah, I mean, the practical takeaways, I mean, choose the P1S if you want the best value and core printing quality for the price. So the P1S is really going to be a lot more cheaper, like $200 cheaper than the P2S. And also, if you don't care much about fancy UI or top-end camera features, again, the P1S has a camera of 720p versus the P2S has a camera of 1080p. So I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, of course, this 1080p would be great, but I mean, is it a huge difference? I mean, especially if you're just capturing time-lapse videos. I mean, these are really honestly just a few second videos. So is it really a big change? And another takeaway for the P1S, you're mostly printing PLA, PETG, and occasional engineering filaments without heavy mid-print monitoring. I mean, like for me, I only usually just 3D print with PLA, but if I do want to 3D print like with PETG or other filaments as well, like stretchable filaments, I mean, the Bambu Lab P1S does have a direct drive, which is recommended for stretchable filament. And these are the takeaways for choosing the P2S. So if you want the better touchscreen experience and more polished interface, and if you like the quicker maintenance with tool-less nozzle swaps and more responsive extruder, I mean, the P2S also has that now as well. So it's a lot easier to work on your 3D printer, especially in the nozzle area, not only with the nozzle, but also with the Ace 2 Pro. I believe that is a lot more accessible as well. Like if ever you get clogs with your filaments in the tubes, that is also a lot more easier to work on now as well with the P2S when you get the combo. So I mean, that I really like, but is it worth the $200? But pretty much the P2S is essentially a refined P1S, keeping the strengths, quality, prints, and closed chamber AMS support, but adding significant quality of life and reliability upgrades. The actual print quality difference in everyday prints may be modest, but usability, interface, and failure detection are noticeably better on the P2S. So this is pretty much all up to you guys. I mean, everybody's different. There's some that are happy with the P1S, and there are some that are not happy with the P1S or could be happy with the P1S, but also want to see more upgrades. Now, to me, honestly, I am super happy with my Bambu Lab P1S to where I actually bought another Bambu Lab P1S. Now, I did not upgrade to the P2S. Again, for the controller, I just did not seem that I needed a fancy or bigger screen when navigating on my Bambu Lab 3D printer. In my opinion, the screen on the Bambu Lab P1S was just perfect. It's all I needed. It got the job done. And for the camera, again, I mean, I love the recordings that Bambu Lab Studio does with the Bambu Lab P1S, especially for time-lapse videos. I mean, I love them kind of videos. I love time-lapse videos, but for only a video that only lasts for a few seconds, I'm still pretty okay with the 720p And for the AI and smart features, I mean, again, I've owned multiple 3D printers that did not have the AI or smart features with them. So I'm pretty used to dealing with my 3D printers as I go. Whether I'm 3D printing an overnight print and something goes wrong, usually what I do is I'll save the print that is good, and wherever it messed up at, wherever it stopped at, I'll just continue the print. That's pretty much how I manage and deal with my prints. I mean, as far as spaghetti prints, blobs, air printing, I mean, I've kind of gone through all that already, and I mean, I'm just used to running into those kind of situations. I mean, it's pretty much normal. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the AI and smart features do come in handy. So if you guys do want that, I mean, go right ahead. But I'm pretty good without the AI and smart features. All right, so for the extruder and hot end, I mean, right now the P1S has a standard direct drive extruder and all metal hot end capable up to 300 degrees Celsius, which is pretty much all I really need, actually. I mean, for the most part, I 3D print with PLA. I do have plans on 3D printing with TPU, and I also have plans on 3D printing with nylon filament as well. And all of those filaments, 300 degrees Celsius is way more than what I need. So I'm pretty good also with the extruder and hot end for the P1S. And for the temperature and management airflow, I mean, the P1S enclosed chamber, but without active airflow control. And with the P2S, still not fully heated chamber, but improved thermal consistency. So, I mean, this is really not a huge thing for me as well. And of course, the build volume and motion. The build volume is completely the same with the P1S and the P2S, which is probably the deal breaker for me. I mean, if the P2S had a little bit of a bigger build volume, then I would probably think about it. But since it's the same thing, same build volume, again, 256 by 256 by 256 millimeter, because the build volume is the same thing between the two, for me, there's really no sense to upgrade. So I'm happy with the Bambu Lab P1S. But yeah, I mean, that is why I went ahead and bought another Bambu Lab P1S. I mean, none of the upgrades for the P2S really mattered for me. I mean, I just love the Bambu Lab P1S. I think it's still an awesome 3D printer. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. Would you guys stay with the Bambu Lab P1S, or would you guys go with the upgraded version of the Bambu Lab P1S, which is actually the P2S? I mean, whichever you guys go for, I mean, you guys are getting an awesome 3D printer. Again, whether it's the Bambu Lab P1S or the Bambu Lab 2PS, I mean, they're both awesome. But yeah, as soon as I get my second Bambu Lab P1S set up, I'm going to start 3D printing on him as well and show you guys my results. If you guys like the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That way you guys don't miss out on my upcoming videos. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay inspired. Peace.